major FB Live. And I'm going to tell everybody this is so powerful. It really does highlight, with a lot of sadness by me, I find the comic nature of JP Sears, known as Awaken with JP on YouTube, very funny. I have a lot of friends. We get together, we watch a lot of his stuff. It's funny. He's got talent. However, his latest skit with one Alex Jones only showcases his very, very low IQ and, of course, the very low IQ of one Alex Jones. Folks, these two guys score 25th percentile throughout the skit, and they think that they're smart or that they're making fun of Donald J. Trump. And I'm going to go through all three realities, the worst of which is Jeffrey Epstein. That one is god-awful, and the state of Americans, Canadians, really the global world fascinated with Jeffrey Epstein. So I'm going to go through their skit. They're supposed to be funny, highlighting common sense via Alex Jones. There was no common sense about it. In fact, all it showcases, everybody, is the sheer ignorance, the sheer low IQ, that I didn't realize JP Sears is really that low intelligence. I thought his creative comic was genius, but now I realize he's a low IQ individual. What do I mean? There were 4 questions showcased in their skit, and it's not so much the answers that try to make Alex Jones look smart and Trump look stupid, as it was the questions that JP Sears and Alex Jones put together. The stupidity is in the questions. The low IQ is in the question answer available options. What do I mean? First question, they list a bunch of plant-based foods to eat. They say which one doesn't belong. There's 3 fruits and the 1 vegetable, the carrot. Obviously, the vegetable isn't a fruit. It doesn't belong. Correct. The next question goes into lobbyists, and they say, if you take money from a lobby, it wouldn't matter what the value is. Who's the traitor? The person who takes money from lobbies or the guy who takes no money from lobbies? Alex Jones answers, well, the guy who took money from a lobby group, he's the traitor. Here's lies the lie of the question. After the 13 colonies, all 50 states of the Union are created out of lobbies. There is no example in all of American creation of the Union without absolutely lobby groups at every single intersection of statehood. So what does that mean in regards to traitors? If Donald J. Trump, who participated with lobbies, is a traitor, so too is every American and every American with lineage in every single state of the Union. Lobbies are historic, central to all evolution of not only statehood, but state constitutional conventions too. Without lobbies, you have none of that. That's a power unto we the people. It's the people's power, not President of the United States. But just like every American Indian citizen, every American citizen, which President Trump is one, doesn't matter how high or low you are in life, you have the right to lobby. you have the right to access lobby as a we the people right and power to be initiated by any two American citizens. It's central to American democracy, and everything about all 50 states of the Union and part of individual sovereignty found only in the states themselves, not the federal government. Incorrect question. Super highlight of low IQ. Right there, the question answer that they think they're smart. You're already proving to the world of high minds how stupid you really are. That's low IQ. Next question they go into is on Iran. And of course, JP Sears says, oh, Iran closed the strait. No ships could transport through the state. Is it smart for you to go to war with Iran so that they'll open the strait by putting up a blockade? Or should you negotiate peace with them and don't go to war so they open the strait for everybody? And of course, Alex Jones says, yeah, don't go to war. And then he says it's wrong. Again, Iran closed the strait to all non-Iranian allies, holding the entire world hostage except for China, Russia, India, Pakistan, and Iran itself. So Iran's shipping, Russia, China, and India shipping, as well as Pakistan and others, could ship with their trading partner Iran to keep their economy going while the rest of the world was locked out. So Donald J. Trump says, if some can't use the Hormuz, then none will use the Hormuz, including you, Iran. We're going to put up a blockade so you can't ship, you can't take imports, and you can't export, eliminating $500 million a day to their economy. No food goes in, no nothing, no medicine, anything goes in, and nothing of their exports goes out, illegally or otherwise. That is the crucible of everything JP Sears and Alex Jones go through, that they can't figure that out. The question itself is your low IQ. Wrong. Failure. These are adult men with low IQs. That's the third question. That's already two that show an extremely low IQ between Alex Jones and JP Sears. Are you ready for question 4? The worst of the worst. And I cannot believe Americans. I truly cannot believe Canadians, even friends and followers of mine. So many of you disgust me. The Epstein files have been available for months and months and months. And the most common occurring name, most horrific name, most horrific amount of victims in the Epstein files over and over again is Peter Nygard with more than 1,000 victims. So I don't know what's wrong with all Americans, all Canadians. You can all do this research yourself. President of the United States in the judicial model district system of all states of the Union of the United States do not give power in any way, shape, or form to President of the United States. Those we the people district court systems in the independent judiciary are only actuated by any two Americans. There are more than 1,200 Epstein-related cases, 1,200, which 1,000 of them are directly related to Peter Nygard, the Canadian fashion mogul, billionaire who started way, way before Jeffrey Epstein. In fact, according to the files, is an MI5 agent through who? Prince Andrew, who introduced young Jeffrey Epstein to Prince Andrew, and many other royal families, Denmark, Norway, all through Europe, all through the Middle East, and even through to Israel, a British-created system. Now, apparently, none of the media could get any of this. None of them could, even though everyone's had the file. Apparently, Alex Jones can't get any of this factual, easily found in over 6 million pages of documentation public for a long time now. How is it nobody can get that? Either A, you have a super low IQ, or B, you're a pedophile corrupt. Because I'm going to tell everybody something that's undeniable. Besides all these cases, these 1,200, filed between 2005 to 2019 in the District Court of Florida, District Court of New York, and there's many state district courts there too. There's multiple. There's like 19 between the two of them. Then there's the Virgin Islands, huge, heavily named, Peter Nygaard written all over it. 1,000 victims and so many First Nation children from Canada, missing, murdered, gone, unknown amounts. There's a couple dozen filed in the United States of Canadian Indigenous girls taken at 14, 15 years old that he had sex with. That greasy old dirty bastard. He's serving 11 years in Canada in a cushy federal prison where they're hoping and they're protecting him, the Crown of Canada, Justin Trudeau, and now Mark Carney are protecting him. Americans and Canadians, and why this is a powerful video. Do you know the one president between 2005 till 2026 today? Do you know the only president of the United States, after reviewing the files, who ordered that extradition is the only power Donald J. Trump could do? He can't interfere in the judiciary. He can't. You've seen it with the Supreme Court. He can bawl them out and call them down. He can scream at the DOJ and tell them, release those files. You tell them. But look what happened. If he tries to interfere in the judicial branch of government, the House and Senate will impeach him. He will be impeached. The Republicans will be finished. He can't do it. In December of 2020, December 14th, President Donald J. Trump, after losing the election, getting ready for everything that came January 6th, in that first release of Epstein files, it was President Donald J. Trump, the only president because Joe Biden didn't follow up. It was only President Trump who put in the extradition order to Canada, to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who he has no use for. You all know that. But his last acts as President of the United States, losing his power, was to order the extradition of Peter Nygaard for the purpose of the 1,200 cases, over 100 known to be Jeffrey Epstein, but there's 1,200 registered Jeffrey Epstein, Peter Nygaard, who is the master, the bigger island holder, massive holdings that dwarfed Jeffrey Epstein's island. In fact, Jeffrey Epstein's first tiny little island is right beside big old Bahamas island owner Peter Nygaard, where he was raping thousands of kids. 1,000 known, so many unknown. And then there's all the children around the world. You talk about pedophile rings. There's a man who ran the king of pedophile rings worldwide with American victims too, under Jeffrey Epstein, but so many worldwide. How Alex Jones can't figure that out, or anybody else, is beyond me. How people can't look up that there's only one man. You don't see Joe Biden's name on that. You didn't see Joe Biden pushing for that. Only Donald J. Trump did. He's registered his administration on his way out. He pushed for that immediately. Those are not the actions of a pedophile who could be implicated. Donald J. Trump has done all he can, and way more than any other presidency since 2005. And they knew this. So what does that tell you about all presidencies? Only one president, President Donald J. Trump. This is undeniable, not myth-bustable, full 100% deadly accurate reality. All the points in this video, but this massive one at the end. Folks, do the right thing. Share, share, share. Get it out there. Alex Jones is a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. If you follow that man, you're following a dullard. You're following a con man. And really, the only answer for it is he's the pervert. Whenever you get people who are constantly obsessed with pedophiles and all these weird ideas, is because they're weird in the head. That's the truth. And Donald J. Trump's gotten tired of it, and he has every right to be tired of it, because no one has fought harder than Donald J. Trump. No one's pushed the truth, especially on Epstein, to get to the answers harder than Donald J. Trump. Who blocked him? Justin Trudeau. Who blocks him right now? Because Trump hasn't removed that extradition request. Mark Carney's got it too. What does it tell you about what does it tell you about Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney? Why do you think Donald J. Trump disrespects them so much? Because while he can't prove it, while the answers are there with clearly the master of all masters of pedophile rings, Peter Nygard, known, clearly listed in massive court cases, even in the United States. You don't get Jeffrey Epstein without continually coming up with a reoccurring name, Peter Nygard. And I don't know how people don't see a guy with a couple hundred victims versus a guy with thousands of victims that doesn't enter the realm of the conversation. And that the reality is Jeffrey Epstein's dead. Peter Nygard's alive and well in Canadian Federal Penitentiary, where he got 11 years and he's got it really comfy, isolated, has all his money, gets his visits. Probably underage girls come see him in Canada, because in Canada, the law in that province is 16. Yeah, this isn't America. This is pervert Canada, Crown Canada. It's shocking, upsetting. What upsets me is these blatant, in-your-face truths, undeniable, aren't mass shared and out in mainstream everywhere. That what kind of low-life, degenerate, filthy piece of shit, American or Canadian, do you have to be when that, especially on epic levels of humanity's evil, what kind of patheticism do you have to be on to have so much TDS that you would sacrifice children, all those victimized, all those who've disappeared, who died horribly, never to see their families again. And you're going to protect that for your TDS? You're going to run on your Jeffrey Epstein, knowing that thousands of little girls died horribly or missing, their parents don't know where they are. And there's one man who has that, who can unlock the whole kit and caboodle. But yet, the low-life, degenerate, and now even J.P. Sears, Alex Jones for sure, has always been a lowlife, degenerate piece of shit. Since the whole thing about the faking of the mass shooting in the children's school and everything that came of that, and how he wasn't absolutely, apologetic, forthcoming, and that should have been the end of that monster then. But now I have to question Alex Jones' supposed InfoWars. How is it you don't know about Peter Nygard, named more than anybody else as much or equivalent to Jeffrey Epstein in the Jeffrey Epstein files, and clearly has 5 times the victims as Jeffrey Epstein, because he's his mentor. The MI5, the Mossad agent, how he got there, who hooked him up. It's all there. No, the living last person who can finish it all off won't be extradited to the USA because Canada doesn't want to do it. They have to protect all of the crown colonials. Justin Trudeau, Mark Carney have something to hide, or at least people to protect. That's the truth. But somehow that's not making it to the average American or even the average Canadian, as though none of that matters. It's okay. It's only a few thousand missing, murdered kids. Who cares? Who cares, right? Sick, disgusting. Do the right thing. Share, share, share. Get this video out there. It's a doozy. It's a big one. Thanks, everybody, for showing me that video. It was important for me to set the record straight. Love you all. Keep up the good work. Get it out there. Bye now.